Oh, fucking hell, man.
What the hell? Back to the creepy.
Well, especially that he didn't do that until she said, "Those are mine."
Yep.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another Stone Face Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Justin, and we're back with another episode of Mushoku Tensei. There's two things I want to bring up. One is a comment, but I think I'll do the comment secondary to just something that's going to seem a little bit off. I want to admit right off the bat to you, Justin, that this was an episode, the first time I saw it, got me a little bit emotional. At the same time, I want the audience to know that we just recorded the very last two episodes of Gurren Lagann, which also got me a little emotional. And I already prefaced this to Justin earlier. Before we start recording, I watched something that got me just a little bit emotional. So, I might either get emotional, which is what you might be thinking I'm leading up to, or I could also be burned out on emotion. So, we'll find out which of these two things is true. To lean into getting burned out on emotion, I want to read this comment, which tells me I'm stupid. So, from the YouTube, from the episode A Chance Encounter, a comment from Catrachan90, I believe was how that said. Concerning the adventure discussion. Come on, Theta, you know better than this. You are telling me that Alice in Wonderland is not an adventure? Wizard of Oz? Digimon? All stories where you get transported to another place and try to go home. Just saying. It'll take if you ask me, haha. Anyway, it's a good discussion.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know you were going to be like the guy in the back room of the mafia boss's hideout. Somebody gives a speech and you're just like, yeah.
One, discussion was so long ago. Two, I think that was closer to my take, but I respected your take at the same time.
This is one of those things where if you don't tell me what I said, I don't really remember what I said. This is why I appreciate people that like leave a timestamp in the comment, like, timestamp response to thing that was said. Like, thank God. I can just click the timestamp and I'll listen to what I said. Yeah, I don't remember. Something about what an adventure is versus a journey? I don't know.
Something like that.
Yeah. Also, Alice in Wonderland, Wizard of Oz, Digimon?
It absolutely
Those are your
is.
literary greats that you want to lean towards? Maybe Lord of the Rings, could you throw that in there? That's a journey from one location to another.
Yeah, bold take on that one from me, but yeah.
Well, yeah, I forgot your opinion. Anyway, my point is more so that it is a literary adventure, which literally goes from the Shire to Mount Doom. It is a travel from one location to the other location. You know, Wizard of Oz, from the village to, well, it's to the, sorry, my first thought was to the evil witch's lair, but that's just where we wind up. Technically, we're going to Oz. And then I couldn't remember Oz for some reason.
True.
Yeah, and Alice in Wonderland, that is an adventure because there's no prescribed destination. She wants to go home, but she doesn't know how to go home, so she has to go on an adventure to find out how to get home. I guess technically Dorothy wants to find out how to go home, but she has a prescribed destination on how to get there. So that's why one's a journey and one's an adventure. I don't think the kids in Digimon know how to get home, right?
No.
Right, so they have to go on an adventure to find out how to get home. That's the difference I think I was trying to make before about the difference between a journey and an adventure. Look, here's the thing about the English language, is that we make words to mean specifically different things. And words that have close meanings to one another tend to be because one is the difference between something else.
Truth.
Well, it's the pedantic nature of language, and I've said this many times. Now, usually it only matters to be right when you're, like, very specifically trying to be right, and I'm never really being that. I don't know why this typically comes up in our discussions, where I've done this thing, like the comment, the difference between an adventure and a journey, or whatever I said before.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm trying to fill it to airtime. I'm not actually sure. Usually not that pedantic. However, it did come up with Griffin a lot, too. Because very specifically, I caught the catchphrase, words have meaning.
Indeed, words do.
Yeah. Sometimes you just go into a zone of true, right? Yeah. Like, what? What's going on over there, man? Get that D&D game sorted.
So sometimes in moments, that's all that makes sense to throw out.
Well, I know during the reactions, I appreciate you're trying to do something. Anyway, go ahead and recap it for us on that wiki I'm sure you're reading.
Funny enough, no, I have it pulled up as a brief reminder, but I'm going to do my best. I just mainly wanted to see the name. We had everybody hanging out in Ghislaine's village. I believe this was after the attack that had everything set on fire. I know it ended with a fight between Eris and Ghislaine's brother, with a continued promise of another fight next time, because Eris was basically trying to be like, yo, Ghislaine taught me everything I know. She's a great teacher. She's a great fighter. She's achieved the rank that she has. And brother's like, show me, because of dishonor from the past. That was the big crux of the episode.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, letting go.
Yes.
Ironic, considering what we just recorded.
Exactly. But yeah, that is what I remember. Now, it has been some time. I could have missed something. Funny enough, if you think I did, if you want to know if I did, there's a previous episode.
Yeah, we didn't just start on episode 16 of season 1.
Exactly.
All right. Well, I mean, do you have anything else you want to add before we get into it?
I do not.
I guess we go ahead and just hop on into it then.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this, unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
Kind of the mountains on the overlay.
True. Good tune.
Again, muffled. I barely ever hear the music of the shows. As much as I was saying how great Row Fight the Power is, didn't actually hear that much of it. I just had it in memory. Oh yeah, I don't think you mentioned that, what's his name joined us. Like, he jumped in the wagon at the very end.
Oh, I completely forgot about what's his name.
Goose, I think.
If his name is Goose, that's dope.
I would say, wait, you don't like Top Gun?
Yep. That city is so Final Fantasy coded. Geese.
That was close. He's the plural of goose. He's more than one goose.
The plural of goose is clearly gooses. Yeah, that's not gonna that's not gonna stand tall.
Well, I mean, one of the last things I think we figured out was he used to be part of the party.
Yes. Did we?
You identified him as being one of the people in our little Who's That Pokemon adventuring party silhouette thing.
Okay, cool.
Not that that's really had any payoff whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Since we're here technically in the opening, but
Yeah.
in that aspect of the opening that doesn't have every opening's different.
Yeah.
It occurred to me that we're gonna get you to the end of the season, so at least you can appreciate how this season ends.
Yes.
But then I'm gonna have to figure out: do I rewatch everything I've watched already, or do I just go to the last episode that I saw? Because the sad part is that when Griffin left, literally the new season or the new core of the show was coming out for the second season. So
Okay.
we would have been recording like as they were releasing.
Got it.
But, you know, he left and we didn't have that opportunity. So it's like, I don't know what happens there. I could just
This is
after
hard
this.
reminding me of a non-Final Fantasy video game with like the religious vibes of the city.
I'm gonna just guess Legend of Dragoon.
No.
Oh, not
As
that other video game we talk about constantly. Sure, why not?
As much as I can see why with one of the cities, no.
さて、魔大陸に飛ばされてから1年半もかかってしまいましたが、ようやく
Okay.
人族の領地まで来ました。このままアスラまで一直線と言いたいところですが、とりあえずしばらくはこの町で金を稼ぎたいと思います。
Because we're poor.
ミリスは仕事の依頼料も高いようで
It's
す。
a capital city.
ここで一気に稼いだ方が効率がいいでしょう。次また船に乗るときにいくらかかるかわかりませんしね。
また船に乗らなきゃいけないの。
それにいい作戦を思いついたので、スペルト族の名誉回復も並行してやりたいと考えています。人助けをした後、ルイジェルドさんの正体をばらすんです。そしてこれをお守りだと言って渡します。これを持っていれば、あのスペルト族もあっという間に態度がなんか。
I don't know that it works. I mean,
It's not that bad of an idea.
It's worked so far, yeah, sure, but what if you found out the devil helped you? Some people will feel like they would have been tainted.
Yeah.
ついでに手紙を書きたいと思いまして。
手紙？
はい、僕たちの無事を知らせる手紙です。
Because they have no idea that everything's been destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because we saw from Roxy's perspective the whole listing of people missing and whatnot, and like the ruins of stuff.
ゴブリン退治。
Got, yep. Insert the name of another anime.
ですが、
Goblin Slaying.
Digimon.
Or Goblin Slayer.
そうですか。
I'm aware of names.
ゴブリンぐらい一人で大丈夫よ。
No, you said insert the name of another anime. So I did.
Nice.
まあそういうことなら、明日はおのおの自由行動ということにしましょう。
わかったわ。
エリスの護衛は頼んだぞ、ルイジェルド。
Does winking not have any meaning in this world? Not that that was actually winking.
The design of the city is very pure and similar.
パウロに手紙を書くなんて初めてだ。
That's just generic fantasy coded.
Yeah.
スペルト族と仲間になったとか、魔界大帝に魔眼をもらったとか。
Writing a letter for his dad.
信じてくれるかな。
やだやだ、また人さらい。
この世界は本当に人さらいが多い。正直あまり関わり合いになりたくないところだ。ついこの前、冤罪で監禁されたばっかだしな。
It's just an off-screen Rudy got arrested for a little bit thing.
Yep.
No, Justice is the other show. That's Gundam Seed.
Yeah, we're fighting for freedom and independence, you know?
I mean, it would have been great if he didn't say independence, because that's not actually a thing.
No, I was referencing space shuttles.
So the joke I should play if I actually knew it was to say something heavily in Russian. Because you know we outsource everything to Russia. Except maybe SpaceX now.
相手の強さがわからない以上、いきなり飛び出して戦闘は危険だな。しばらくここに身を潜めて待つか。頼むから防衛とかやめてくれよ。しかし、一体ここは何だ？教会？として機能しているようには見えないが。布だな。服にしては少々小さい。しかし、触っていると不思議と安らかな気分になる。この感触。
This person.
覚えが。
No?
そうそう。ここに2つ穴が開いていて。
No, it's panties.
誰だ？しまった。木箱の中が出てこい。
そう、こんな罠を用意しているとは卑劣な。
侵入者だ。おいおいおい。
しょうがねえ。幼き者を守護者から引き離し、己の醜い欲望の糧とする者よ。その行いを恥とし、人それを誘拐という。
My thing would be you don't know was that clean thing of panties or not.
Yeah.
俺はデッドエンドのルイジェルドだ。
何？デッドエンドだ？ごめんなさいルイジェルドさん。でもちゃんと子供は助けますから。おいガキ、正義の味方ごっこならよそでやれよ。俺たちはな。
大丈夫か少年。
あれ？この子。
You recognize him? I wouldn't expect you to, but you could recognize him.
No.
ごめんルイジェルド。本当にごめん。
Oh, fucking hell, man.
What the hell? Back to the creepy.
Well, especially that he didn't do that until she said, those are mine.
Yep. Yep.
Rudy's been without the internet for a long time.
Yep.
団長はまだか。おお、待たせたな。
Someone's drunk.
なんだ？
Yeah.
ただの酔っ払いじゃないか。
てめえ好き勝手やってくれやがって。覚悟はできてんだろうな。
この男もどこかで見たことがあるような懐かしい感じがする。
Is that Paul?
Why would you say Paul?
あいつみたいな動きしやがる。
Martha, why'd you say that name? Hey, little drill heads. However,
The
Poe.
build.
こいつ他のチンピラとは格が違う。
Also holding a blade in his mouth like a Zorro.
しまった。
Yeah.
Rudy.
Also, yes, it's
俺をそ
Paul.
の名前で呼ぶ男は一人しかいない。
Jeez, Paul's looking rough.
それは正真
He
正
lost
銘
his son and possibly everybody else. The note that was written
Yeah.
that was read was from him. But how everyone was missing.
Mm-hmm.
The other kid, because it's never going to get revealed. The other kid was that bully that was picking on Sophie.
Got it.
I guess implying that this is where he got teleported to.
ルディ、
父様、
Who is okay?
なんだ。ルディ、よく生きていてくれたな。
その父様はどうして
He's now gonna save his dad.
どうしてって伝言を見ただろう。
伝言ですか？
はて、何の話だろうか。そんなものを見かけた記憶はないが。
なあ、ルディ、お前今までどうしてきた？
どうと言われても大変でしたよ。
ロアでの災害に巻き込まれて1年半。話したいことはたくさんあった。第1部、心の友ルイジェルドとの出会い。そして、
Tell Paul about everything you've been up to.
第2部、
Yeah.
大家のエリス、ルイジェルドと共に大魔術師ルーデウスが世直しをしながら魔大陸縦断の旅。第3部、卑劣な従属の罠にかかり、囚われの身となって絶体絶命な俺。そんな感じの完全ノンフィクション一大スペクタクルだ。人神のことはぼかしておこう。あいつはなんかうさんくさいしな。しかし、思い返せばなかなか楽しい旅だった。
そしてウェンポートへとたどり着いた僕らが目にしたのは、
もういい。お前がこの1年ちょっとの間遊び歩いてたってことはよくわかった。
僕も大変だったんですが。
お前の口調からは大変さなんてみじんも感じられねえ。
You literally just told yourself that you've been having
そ
fun.
ういう風に話したからで、確かにちょっと調子には乗っていたかもしれないですけど。
なあ、
Hmm?
どうして魔大陸で他に災害に巻き込まれた奴らの情報を集めなかった？
どうしてと言われても答え
I'm gonna throw this out there
理由があるとすればただ一つ。
because he's still a kid.
He didn't think about it.
ませんでした。
Also, he's not. He's a 35-year-old man in a kid's body.
見ず知らずの魔族を助け
You can't give him the slack.
転移されたであろう人たちを気にかける余裕はないってか。
You would start to revert if you spent X amount of time in the body.
You can't give him the slack on the whole perversion thing because he's got the perversion of an adult. So he's clearly still thinking.
I know.
可愛いお嬢様と二人で遠足気分で冒険者暮らし。しかも強力な護衛までついているときた。それでなんだ。ミリシオンに来て最初にやったことがパンツかぶって正義の味方ごっこか。
僕だって右も左もわからない状況で、でもエリスだけは守らなきゃって思って、多少抜けてることがあったって悪くないでしょ。
別に悪かねえよ。
じゃあなんで突っかかってくるんですか？
エリスってのはフィリップの娘だったか？
ああ、もちろんそうですよ。
さぞ可愛いお嬢さんなんだろうな。手紙を出さなかったのはお嬢様の護衛が増えるとイチャイチャすんのを邪魔されるとでも思ったからか。
だからそれは気が回らなかったからって言ったじゃないですか。
団長、それぐらいにしてあげたらどうです？まだ小さいんですから。
親子のことに口を挟むんじゃねえ。
ですが
女のことで父様にとやかく言われたくないですよ。
ああ、
その女の人は何なんですか？近くにそんな綺麗な女の人がいるって。
We'll throw out there. I don't think they're going to explain it anytime soon.
Yeah.
There is a reason why she dresses that way, and it actually...
てるわけねえだろ。
It's a good reason. I don't know. It makes a lot of sense, but it's a good reason.
これ新しい弟か妹ができる日も近い。
ふざけたこと言ってんじゃねえぞ、ルディ。ここに来たってことはザントポートにも足を運んだんだろうが。
それがどうしたってんだよ。
なら知ってるだろうが。
知らねえっつってんだろ。
There are some situations where winning is not winning.
Neither one of them can win until they resolve what's going on.
それでもなんとかここ
So that we know he could have done better because you got a bunch of kids killed. Been kind of a long time.
Yep. No, that's not. That's
Kind of
that's
is.
different. That's two people needing to resolving trauma. It's just in a physical manner.
もういい。帰ろう。何も見なかった。俺は何もしなかった。宿に戻って、エリスとルイジェルドを待とう。そしてすぐに旅立とう。明日か、明後日か。転移したのはお前だけじゃねえ。ブエナ村の奴らも全員災害に巻き込まれた。
See?
今なんつった？
ザンとポートの冒険者ギルドにも伝言は残した。お前冒険者になったんだろう。なんで見てねえんだよ。
How do you not see the thing when
何人も死んだんだぞ。
転移災害。
literally going on adventures is all you've been claiming to be doing?
どうしてブエナ村が無事だって思ったんだ。そうか。みんな行方不明。
ってことは、シルフィも。
お前、自分の母親より女の心配か。
母様も見つかってないんですか。
ああ、全く見つからねえよ。リーリャとアイシャもな。俺たちは転移した奴らを探すためにこうやって捜索団を組織している。
捜索団がなんで人さらいを。
奴隷になった奴もいるんだよ。
奴隷？
突然転移して、そこがどこだかわからない状態で騙されて奴隷にされて、そんなのが何人もいたんだ。
Paul's putting so much on one person, though.
That's why he wouldn't eat. There you go. I didn't remember that from the first time that they showed who he was. I just had to figure it out by him looking the same.
それがのんきに冒険とはな。
And now actual PTSD.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're looking at him the same way everyone at the school did. I don't know. In my opinion, you're giving Rudy way too much slack for no reason. Although, I will say that the comments are going to agree with you, but I'm going to take that hate.
So, there is good reason to not give him slack. But there's also good reason to give him slack.
Sure, but this isn't like advantage rules in D&D. One doesn't negate the other.
Oh no, I'm fully... So, again,
And
you can't
negativity has a lot more weight than positivity.
Yes, but you can't put all the pressure on solving a global, like a problem of that scale on one person, and that's
he's
what Paul
not.
just
The
did.
problem... No, he's not. The problem is Rudy did nothing. And it's like, I put the thing up in Zant. You've been adventuring. You just gave me a whole how much fun adventuring has been for you. Why didn't you read the thing that literally your whole story to me has been about?
You mean when you want to express how you've survived, gotten better, and grown to
Again,
your
he
father?
said at the end of his own story how much fun he had.
Of course.
And look at Paul. Paul look like he's been having fun?
It's on both of them. It's them dealing with trauma in different ways. Neither are fully right, neither are fully wrong.
Here's my problem. Is the contrarian in me has already come out. So I'm solidly on the anti-whatever you say side, so I can't be a, unbiased, I cannot be an unbiased participant.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even remember what I said the first time through when I watched this. I think I was more on the emotional side of things about the having a bad relationship with your father all of a sudden. And again, the depression. about being so happy to have something happen and then suddenly have it go so negatively out of the nowhere.
あんまりこういうの得意じゃないから。
いえ。ありがとう、エリス。
Oh, wow. Sorry, apparently I've combined 2 episodes in my head. I remembered something else happening, which apparently is from next episode.
Oh, I'm 100% sure this is going to continue.
Yes, because one, we're halfway through. We're not even halfway through this core, but then there's a whole other season after this. Of course, it's going to continue. I'm going to put it out there now, the reason why she's dressed that way, because one never gets explained in the show, to my recollection.
Got it.
And we've already stated the reason why Paul is out here, that's the whole search party thing.
Yep.
The girl that's next to her, that's super covered up and like head down, everything, she was sexually molested when they got transported. And they're sisters. So to help her sister out from, like, she's trying to make people not look at her. So she's making herself super exposed. So everybody looks at her. Like I said, there's a reason for it, and I think the reason's good, even though it might not, like, play very well.
No, it makes sense.
And again, that's why that other kid wouldn't eat when they were trying to feed him. Because he's been kidnapped and enslaved and everything like that.
Yes. Heavy episode.
Yeah, because I mean, we've been shown many times that Paul's not, like... I would say Paul's not a great person, which I guess I can say because he's a fucking rapist, as it turns out. Can't let that go. You can't find that out about a person.
Paul is a complicated person.
He's not a great guy. He wants good things. Like, he goes out, he defends the village. He goes out, he tries to rescue everybody. Like, Paul is a complicated hero. I'll say that. He's not a great person.
Question. Are you saying that redemption is impossible from certain events?
That is the worst question.
Because this is
yes.
legitimately the point being brought up.
Well, no. I mean, I will say yes, that redemption is impossible for certain events, because obviously I'm not going to say the things on screen. Like,
of course.
Obviously not these things, but I will say yes, some things are irredeemable. You know? I don't think I need to go, like, trying to make up examples. I think we can both imagine the things that we would not forgive.
So, in that case, if somebody is a murderer, and the reason is clearly an irredeemable reason, if they do something on a parallel level to not clear their name, but to clearly help people and save people in a situation, is it not then counterintuitive to fully hold that over their head?
Redemption is different than... Here's the problem. What is irredeemable is typically a personal thing, which is why people on a jury could come up with different, punishments for things. That's what they find to be equivalent to the crime committed. So That's why as a community, as a nation, as a state, whatever, we come up with these group laws where some people will say, oh, he got off light, or other people say, this guy didn't do anything wrong, really, if you think about it. People have different things. So, again, what you consider to be redeemed or have paid your debt or whatever is different per person. And what I'm saying, things are irredeemable. Some things can be redeemable. I'm talking to you from my perspective, not from a legal standpoint, not from a what is human standpoint. So when you're saying, can a guy do this and that, some people will say sure, some people won't. Obviously, that's the problem I'm going to get to is with hypotheticals, is I don't think you're going to throw a hypothetical at me that's going to be good for anything.
Oh no, I don't fully plan to. I don't plan to at all.
No, you did one. You said, "When murder does this, can he do a thing that would make him get redeemed?" And I'm like, for one thing, I'm like a member of a jury at that point because you didn't make it like regarding me, so I'm judging somebody else. In which case, I'm going to be more lenient than if you say he murdered your mom. It's like, well, fuck him, No, irredeemable. Let that guy die.
So based off that logic, are you saying that criminal sentences should just be you're in jail now versus given time? Because the time
jail is not a good example because jail doesn't teach people.
Sentence?
Jail doesn't rehabilitate anybody.
Oh,
people
I
learn.
fully agree with that.
Yeah, so it's not a good example. That's what I'm saying. We're going to be in the weeds on this one well before we even get to the point.
100%.
So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. And there's no way to work this out.
Correct. And I think it's better to not even work it out on this, because it's just a point that is being brought up with Paul that I think is important to discuss from the show.
No, so, it's Gundam, right? The whole point of Gundam is that we can't just keep killing one another because it's an endless cycle of hate. At some point, you have to give up on that hate, which is basically redemption, right? But that was the discussion that we always have during Seed, or have had for maybe like 8-10 episodes about the speeches, is how do you get to that point? Because we're not all Buddha. We're not just gonna forgive and forget. Some people that the making them pay for what they've done is more important than living in a world where we're not fighting. So to circle back around, Paul is a complicated hero because we have to acknowledge the fact that he's doing heroic things not for himself, but for others. But he's also doing negative things for himself. Falling
Agreed.
for Lydia's seduction was for him, but he fell for it. Sexually abusing her when they were younger was for him. So you're saying he's a complicated person. I'm saying he's a piece of shit who just happens to also be a hero, because those two things don't have to be.
So that's
different.
that's where our stances differ. I am saying he was a piece of shit, not is.
When he thought Rudy did something wrong, the first thing he did was hit him in the face. And that is physical abuse of a child. And granted, I was raised that way, so I know that we're of that generation. I don't know if your upbringing was that way, but I just mean that that's not a great look.
1, 34-year-old in child's body. 2, how old is Rudy? Like Rudy's physical body.
Just because he's that old mentally isn't an excuse, because what if he was that natural kid and Rudy from the other world didn't inhabit his body? He'd be that old. I think 7, 8, something like that.
Well, no, because we've done some time skips. He's older than that.
He's reached 15 when he was at Eris's home. When he was in Roe, he got to 15. I believe he got to 15 when he was there. And this happens way before he even asks to go to the academy. That happens before. No, that happens right when he met Selphie.
Okay, so based off of that, we're dealing with a late teenager's Rudy.
No, he's still pre-10.
Well, no, because you said he reached 15 once.
No, he reached
on the Eris stuff.
I think he did. No, he wasn't 15 because she wouldn't let him sleep with him, or they wouldn't let him. So he was before 15 there. No, I'm saying he gets hit in the face by his dad for defending Sylphette, which is well before any of that stuff.
Okay, either way.
So my opinion might be wrong. I think he was under 10.
Either way, 1, real life examples, horrible, don't do it. Not part of this discussion.
Martial treatment of your children is not great. That's why I said it's not a great look either way, no matter how you look at it.
However, based off what Rudy's been doing and the discussion that they were having and the way it was going, if he's an adventurer who's developed this name for himself, a hit's not going to do shit to him.
Again, I'm talking about back when he defended Sylphette.
Yes.
I'm not talking about getting punched in the face by your dad as an adventurer.
That's why I'm
especially
saying
after the age of majority.
That's why I'm saying was.
Okay,
Can Paul?
I feel like
Can
when you
Paul-
say was, you were talking about back when he raped a woman. By the way, horrible still.
100%.
That was like what 20 something years ago. We don't know. I thought you meant was in that respect. I'm using was in like 5 years ago.
So what? So current day Paul is not the Paul that we saw before. He has his different problems, but he is clearly doing everything he can to ignore his past, drunk all the time, but do better moving forward.
We don't disagree on that part. I'm just
Of
saying
course.
that you are a product of. See, here's the problem: is I am the negative factor in this discussion, and I'm realizing it as I talk. But at the same point, I feel like my opinion, while not the ideal in most anime or like stories about people improving upon themselves, is the typical public opinion, right? That an anime or a fable or a novel or a story will tell you you're not the accumulation of all your negative decisions, and that you can do better and you can improve your life, etc., etc., etc. Except that most people that know you are going to be thinking about all that negative shit that you did.
Well, of course.
Yeah, so in the public opinion, you are the accumulation of all the negative things that you've done, especially to the people that you've done them to or have been affected by, like family and friends. So, in that respect, it's not a fantasy anime world where you're going to get by with people forgetting what you've done, or that you can do so well that they're going to forgive you, or not forgive you. Forgiveness is different from remembering. That they're going to forget what you've done because of what you've done. As I said, negativity has more weight than positivity. That's why a hero in these novels has to sacrifice themselves to get rid of all that negative shit that's in their backstory.
Oh, completely agreed. And I think that if Paul were to go back to the scene of the crime or try and just ignore it in situations where the events have already taken place, that doesn't fly. But I think I think judging current day Paul based on what we're seeing is just an unfair move.
Unfairness, the world is unfair, my dude. I hate that I just said my dude, by the way. No, that's why I specific. Yeah, no. I just watched a short where they say the whole joke is you replace dude with daddy. Come on, daddy. Anyway.
Well, I know exactly what I know exactly what you're talking about. It's from Game Changer. It's so funny.
Yeah, which just means we get the same algorithm, I guess. But no, my whole thing was that I said he is a complicated hero because he is a hero regardless, but he's a piece of shit person. I think you can still define him as two different aspects because people are multifaceted. Just because he's a hero doing good things does not remove what he's done in the past.
That's why I was saying was a piece of shit, not is. I think the actions have started to change the trajectory of his current state.
Arguably is a piece of shit. He encountered his son, got upset what his son was doing, punched him in the face. He's still maybe 15, 16 years old. He went to violence against a family member right off the bat. Your argument is he's a seasoned adventurer. That doesn't hurt him. Literally, we saw the emotional damage as he went back to the apartment. Emotional damage is still damage, and in a lot of ways, longer lasting than physical damage. So,
correct.
Arguably, he inflicted a lot of hurt there.
I do not disagree with that.
That's a piece of shit move.
100%.
Did he mean to do that sort of thing? Don't know. Gonna say probably not. At the same point, still was his first reaction. Still what he did. Still the same guy he was 5 years ago when he hit his son in the face when he was upset.
That's where it's a different point. He reverted back
to who he was.
That guy. However, he's still not the same guy based off of what he is currently doing.
Arguably, if you can revert back to who you were, then you haven't fully moved on from who you were.
But in that case, that's suggesting that people never actually change, because when you get family members together that haven't seen each other in 10 years, you give it a week and they're back to being the same way they were when they were kids.
Well, then those people didn't change. Well, no, that's different. That's positive change. I mean, that's just fun change. There's a difference between that and negative. Again, our whole argument is negativity weighs more. There's a difference between falling back, like, oh, I stopped smoking, lights up a cigarette. I thought you said you stopped. Yeah, I stopped for a week. No, then you didn't stop. That's not change, right? Change is permanent. Well, I guess there's permanent change, and then there is just temporary change. Paul is temporarily changed until he slips back into who he used to be, in which case he isn't permanently changed. He's that Paul. In which case, we're just waiting for old Paul to show up again.
No one's ever permanently changed. You are a buildup of your experiences.
That's a world viewpoint that not some people would disagree with. That you can permanently change, some people say. Anybody that forces a person to go to, say, gay camp to get the gay away is hoping for a permanent change. Those people believe permanent change is possible. So, some people, that's a horrible example, by the way. I do not condone any of that shit. But at the same... I'm saying if you're gay, it's fine to be gay. Whatever. You don't let anyone force you. Well, the problem is that they do that to kids. And kids have no legal ability to protect themselves against that shit.
Yes, I agree with you on that. That is one of the most fucked up things that can occur.
But my point is that those people, obviously, not people having it done to them, but the people forcing it upon them, believe that permanent change is possible. So, obviously, it's different viewpoints. You're saying that people can't change, and some people will try and force change upon people. And some people will try to permanently change themselves. You know, you try to make yourself better. So,
I'm not saying that people can't change. I'm saying that when people talk about change, what they actually are talking about is growth.
Yes, but you can grow into a different person.
You grow into the...
See what I'm saying? I can see you looking off in his face, because it's like, yeah, all these points of view are used constantly.
They're very good points, and it's a perspective. You grow into a better version of the same person.
Don't believe in yourself, believe in you that believes in you.
Kind of.
I fucked that whole thing up, but you know what I was going for. Yeah, I'm just saying that, yeah, people don't change, they grow. Sure. My problem is that we're debating this between 2 points of view, and I don't implicitly disagree with your opinions.
Nor do I disagree with yours.
Well, no, my opinions are basically in line with yours. I think basically what you're saying is right, but I have to acknowledge that other people think differently. And again, the examples that I'm pulling are obviously not... I wouldn't send any kid to a gay camp to not be gay, but you have to acknowledge that people do. And in that mindset of acknowledging that those people exist, you have to then... what is it called? You have to believe that if with the best of intentions, or not the best of intent, you have to believe that they're acting positively, not positive. They're acting with full belief that everything is right. That they are acting with the idea that if they send their kid to gay camp, that their kid will come back not gay for good. So those people, and again, this is just the example I'm using. There's probably a better example, one that isn't going to destroy the audience of this video. But there has to be other examples of that. The same thing is applied. People that go to diet camps, for example, are hoping to be changed permanently to the person that they want to be. As the opposite side of the people who get forced to go to I don't know why camps are my worst. Probably because that N-word almost came up. No, I'm sorry. N-word, I meant Nazis, not the actual N-word.
Thanks for that
I am just like, how deep can this hole go? Let's find out. Anyway, yeah. Again, it's the idea that I agree more with you than not, even though my point of view is that Paul is a piece of shit. Even though your point of view is that was And my point is that every time you slip back into that old person that you were, you bring them back into the light. In which case, you're not separate from that old person. You're not changed enough to say that that old person is a different person that you are. The fact that he goes right to angry, hitting child thing that he was 5 years ago indicates that that's always who he is, and he has not made any change. Even if he is at the worst point of his life, it is still exactly where he went to.
My final statement on this discussion.
Oh, sure, you don't want this to be a 2-hour debate about the nature of mankind and its relationship
100%.
as to temporality of person?
Yes.
Welcome to our TED Talk.
Exactly. My final statement on this is a very simple. I cannot justify judging someone based on their worst moments when they're in their worst place, knowing what has got them there and the fact that they've been trying to do as much as Paul clearly has to fix a problem that is very clearly a problem. So it's acknowledging everything, being aware of it, and the idea of forgive but don't forget. And this is when that comes in. This is when the actions moving forward determine how much growth has actually occurred.
Right, but you're just arbitrarily... Sorry, I'm not trying to start the debate more, because it is your final thought, but I feel like you're arbitrarily choosing when to decide Paul gets to start over again. And something you said at the very beginning is that you're trying not to judge a person based on the worst moments of their life. It's literally what we always do. It's what the justice system is based off of. You judge a person based on the worst moment of their life, which you wouldn't be in the courtroom otherwise.
And that's totally a fair and unflawed system, right?
It is the best system that we've got. Otherwise, why would we be using it? How else,
not touched on that one.
You prefer that we shun murderers? Because was that a good method to stop murder? I feel like they would just start murdering the people that are shunning them. We can't really like send them out of the community. We can't banish them because literally the world is inhabited like almost fully at this point. Where would we send them? Australia? They formed their own government.
Don't do that to Australia again. That's what started Australia.
Yeah. At some point, we can't just keep sending them away. Also, they might start murdering people, the places we send them to. I guess maybe get the murderers to join the military, and we'll just pair-drop them in the countries we're fighting. That actually is a funny joke at the first, then if you think about it for a second, they're going to start murdering civilians, which is inhumane and a war crime, so... It's a funny joke when George Carlin said it 30 years ago, not so much now. Indeed. Anyway, problem here is that we started a discussion that's way too deep for the framework of the video that we're recording it in, and we do not have the time to go into it. So just, dear audience, who's still stuck with us this far into the digging the hole that I already went through.
If anyone's still here for this, they're the people who listen paying attention. And if you're going to bitch about it,
well, it's not so much
theoretical discussion.
I wasn't going to say the bitching about it part. Sorry, you went hostile there. I was trying to actually go peaceful. You went full aggro.
I'm also going peaceful as well. Because then there's the people who stayed for a good discussion, which is a thank you.
Well, my point was, know that we have very deep thoughts about all of these things, but I also acknowledge that we don't have 24 hours of a podcast to put out there. So we're just going to chop the legs off of this discussion and wrap up the video here.
Exactly.
So once again, I have been Theta. This has been Justin. We've been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stone-Faced Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?